All right, Speed Gaming 6. We have another Super Metroid multi-category tournament race about to begin. This is a really hype race, a really interesting race between Maniacal and Hero, two really good runners, both in the 2-1 bracket. So that makes this especially interesting. We'll talk about that in a moment. Actually, we'll talk about that right now because it is the 2-1 bracket. The cutoff for whether you have a real shot at making the playoffs is going to be 4-2. We don't know what the exact numbers are going to be because the way with the way Swiss works and with the occasional not necessarily playing in your own numeric is always going to be one. Like this week, we have 1-2-1 versus a 1-2. We don't know exactly what the numbers are going to be, but there will be. If you're 5-1, you're getting in. And one of these guys is going to have a chance to give themselves a really nice situation by being 3-1. The other one's going to be 2-2, and they'll still have a shot at getting into the play-in race that will be all the 4-2s, but no guarantees. So this is a particularly interesting matchup because of that. Also, we have very close PBs from these guys. Maniacal with a 124.33 in Hundo. Hero with a 124.33 from Maniacal. Hero with a 124.14, as reported at the beginning of the tournament. I don't know if either one that was PB'd since. I'm pretty certain Maniacal hasn't. I can't say for sure about Hero. But it's a 19-second difference, so really, really good matchup. I should introduce myself. I usually do that sooner. My name is Tracy M. I'll be taking you through this. And of course, the beginning of the race always starting with Sirius Station. Of course, we did not kill Ridley because we'll do that later. At this point, it's much faster. Just damage yourself down. And I do expect that both these runners are going to do the same route, but we'll see. Typically doing the early grapple route. We'll talk more about that as we get to it. Michael already saying in SRL chat that's an oof for me. I had a little bit of a hiccup there getting out of Sirius Station, but nothing too terrible. And of course, this being 100% item pickup, we will have to pick up all the items. It's something like 10 or 12 minutes of fanfares. All 230 missiles, 50 super missiles, 50 power bombs, 14 E-tanks, 4 reserves, and all the major items. So Heroes can take just a tiny bit of an early lead here. Maniacal doing a nice going for the moonfall down the parlor area and heading into the climb. Hero not using moonfall at all. Maniacal going for the backup location. He's going to be able to catch up a little bit of time with that moonfall. And yeah, that is correct, Nevdi. Basically, what I gathered was that Maniacal basically said, I'm not playing low ice. And so Hero said, let's play Hundo. I know Maniacal particularly likes both Hundo and GT Classic, so I'm sure he was right to do either one. And so here we are. And of course, to get things started, we have to pick up both the Morph Ball and these missiles here, or the planet will not awaken. And as we head back up the elevator and get into the meat of the run, Again, Hero maintaining that couple-second lead. He's gonna, looks like, having a little bit of trouble with the climb. Maniacal doing the ledge grab strats. Hero opting for the wall jump strats. Done optimally, they're pretty similar in terms of time. And Maniacal, having a slightly cleaner climb, does take a bit of a lead. Like I said, these two are evenly matched, so I'm hoping for and expecting that we're going to get quite a few lead changes in this one. That's the beauty of the Swiss rounds, is that as we go further into the tournament, in general, the races should be closer and closer and more evenly matched in general. As we pick up our bombs. So we wait for bomb trees. So both having full health, which is really important in this fight because we're gonna farm some missiles off of the eggs here. Maniacal doing a nice job of grabbing a few, shooting a few, and then grabbing the rest. Both finishing up bomb trees at about the same time. Maniacal gets out of there a little bit sooner, and he's gonna maintain that few second lead that he took on the climb. Okay, both having no trouble getting their Alcatrazes, and they're gonna head on down. Of course, the first of 14 E-tanks run into right here. And since we are going to be heading down, because this is 100%, we do just damage ourselves here. We're not going to missile the space pirates. We don't need to conserve our health. Doing a early wreck ship at 100% just makes no sense because of that specific wreck ship reserve tank, which you need the speed booster for. It'd be really interesting if someone could find another way to get to that E-tank that was viable, to see if you could route wreck ship first for Hundo. But at the moment, that can't be done. And as we come to one of our important sequence breaks, as we mockball across this bridge, in order to grab these early supers so we can skip the Spore Spawn fight. And we get the supers first because we only have one missile pack, and we can't open the door here until we grab that super pack. So we're going to grab this reserve tank, grab a couple missiles in the back here. Maniacal grabbing the reserve tank second, Hero grabbing the reserve tank first. So Maniacal's again going to leave just a little bit ahead. Unfortunately misses the mockball out, but so does Hero, so we're even on that. It's a very tough mockball to get, and both runners remembering to grab the missiles under the bridge here. Both are able to get back out of the crumble blocks without having to roll up and bomb the bottom left area, so that's going to save a little bit of time there. Now we're going to head over to Big Pink. There's a whole bunch of stuff in Big Pink, and we're going to skip most of it for now. Basically, just come in here and pick up the charge beam. The runners can opt to grab this missile right here. It's a little more optimal to pick it up the next time we come around here when we have power bombs. So I suspect both runners will leave it. Indeed they do. So far, Maniacal maintaining just a tiny little bit of a lead. Like I said, these runners are super evenly matched. I expect this lead will change a few more times before it's all said and done. And like I said, we have to go down first because we need to get that speed booster in order to do all of the items and get all the items in the wreck ship. Gonna pick up that Spacer beam here because in 100% we have to get all the items, and yes, that does include Spacer. Now, you may see the runners, oftentimes you'll see runners just go ahead and turn this off. Depends on what kind of X Factor strats they're going to use. Maniacal not opting to turn it off yet. We'll probably turn it off later because I know he uses X Factors on Fantoon and on Botwoon. And here also keeping it on for now. I mean, at this point, there's no reason to turn it off. There'll be plenty of opportunities later. Maniacal getting a nice entry into the Crate's lair area. Hero not far behind, also with a very nice entry. Alright, and we're going to head into our Crate fights. And let's see if we can get a couple quick kills here. Oh, and that hurts. Hero getting a very nice Crate quick kill. Maniacal missing on it, so he's gonna lose a little bit of time here as he has to fight Crate the old-fashioned way. Does it very quickly, or in relatively speaking. It's a rough place to lose your advantage. I know Maniacal is very good at that quick kill, but it happens to everybody. We all miss it once in a while. Now we're going to go ahead and pick up the E-Tank in the last item. Well, not the last item here. We will have to revisit this area. Neither runner opted to get early power bombs, so they can just get these missiles right now. So we're going to have to come back here. And here we're not quite getting the nice mock ball out. We'll see if Maniacal can get that. Not quite. Unfortunately, neither one getting that. And we're going to head down and pick up our high jump boots. So you'll notice that Hero opened that door ahead of time, and Maniacal will likely try and do the same thing. If you don't open that door ahead of time, then you have to kill this Nova again, in order to make that door flash. And he's not usually in the right position for you to do that, so you want to open that door ahead of time. And picking up that last E-Tank. Of course, is one of the E-Tanks you usually see runners pick up in any percent. Of course, this being 100%, we have to pick it up. We have to pick up everything. Okay, Hero, the first one into the cathedral area. This is the first of the missiles that are easily skipped. There's a missile down here in the lava. And Hero remembers to pick it up. And so does Maniacal. Hero making his way through the Rising Tide room, basically one room ahead. And as Hero heads over towards his speed booster, Maniacal making his way up the mountain area, managed to get through. Always a fun area to see what different runners do. So they pretty much just both did the wall jump up. And another one of those missiles that is easily forgotten, this speed missile. And Hero does pick it up, so don't have to worry about that one. And picks up his speed booster. Maniacal also picking up his speed missiles. Oh, okay. So Hero's fine. That can be very, very dangerous if you get caught in that lava earlier. Fortunately, he didn't get caught until the very end of the room, so he's fine. And now we're gonna go get our wave beam. This is the area where I think we get what I consider the most important sequence break of the game. This forest spawn sequence break is a nice one. It saves quite a bit of time, saves you from having to fight the boss. But if you don't pick up the wave beam like this, you have to go the game intends for you to use speed booster to get ice beam, to go up red tower to get power bombs, to go down to Crocomire to get grapple beam, to come back here to get your wave beam. We can skip all that just by getting our wave beam now and heading straight to Crocomire. Hero getting a very nice jump out of that double chamber room. I do expect both these runners to do the early Croc route. There are two main routes to Hundo. One route being doing early Crocomire, picking up the grapple beam and using it to go to Shack Tool and get your spring ball. The other route being do early ice and get to use the ice clip to get to Shack Tool. And then pick up grapple beam on your way out. That second route has a lot of nice advantages to it, not the least of which is your Crocomire fight goes super, super quick because you'll have charged plasma. But there are a lot of little things that make that route a lot more difficult, including and not just the ice clip over to Shack Tool. So you'll see more people will do the early grapple. I know Maniacal used to be a early ice runner and has, in the last year or so, switched over to early grapple, so. As Hero starts this fight, as Maniacal just a half a croc fight behind. Crocomire basically keeps backing up as you shoot him further. Has no set amount of HP, you just gotta push him into the acid. And you can grab this E-Tank. Another item that actually you're expected to have grapple beam for. But we say we don't care, we're just gonna run through the acid and do a nice little wall jump here. It's like Hero going for a spark suit. Okay. And is going to make this jump up to get our first power bomb pack. Not the intended first power bomb pack, as we said before. The intended first power bomb pack is much earlier, or much difference. The one's up red tower. But when you do Crocomire, it's nice. You can get this power bomb pack now. You needed to get the grapple beam. Technically, you don't need to get the grapple beam, but that involves green gate glitching, and that's definitely not faster. So we're going to grab these power bombs now. And that'll allow us to make this large jump that Hero's about to do. But let's see if he does this jump first. Okay, he's going to go ahead and get the missiles first. This is a safer strat, not necessarily a faster one. What you'll see some runners do will do the so-called Indiana Jones, which is kind of the intended way to get those missiles, that you use your grapple beam that Hero's about to pick up in order to grapple across the rippers. Also, very nice strat there, saving that shine spark and just going across with the shine spark instead of going back down it and doing the run jump. And here going through for what a lot of people call their favorite mockballs, and gets it very nicely. Well, Maniacal decides to just do the jump and get the grapple beam first. A little surprised because I saw him practicing earlier today, was getting the missiles first. May go for the Indiana Jones strat here. Maniacal? Did I... Oh, he got the missiles. Thank you, Nevji. I was a little worried about that. Missed it watching Hero's side of things. Okay, so we're good. And gets the last missiles in the so-called cosine room, one of my favorite rooms, being a math person. And we'll make his way out with a nice shine spark up this area. We can do a little bit of an extra farm here. Alright, as we leave the Norfair area, unfortunately we'll have to come back here. You'll notice we're going to go ahead and skip the ice beam. We'll get that afterwards. Doesn't really do much for us now. Could make the red tower climb maybe a little bit easier, but most runners don't need it. Alright, Hero going for and getting the Alpha Spark. A little safer to go for that in Hundo, because one, you have other alternatives for getting across the moat, because you have that grapple beam. And so using up that energy isn't as bad. Plus you have an extra E-tank and a reserve tank that you wouldn't normally have. So that also makes it a little bit safer to go for that. Maniacal also going for that, and it's going to use this opportunity to go ahead and turn off that Spacer Beam. We talked about that earlier. Because he is going to be using X Factors in his Fantoon fight. Probably his Bot Wound and Dragon fights as well. Hero has not turned off his Spacer. We'll see if he's going to use those X Factors. He may not. And may choose to just leave Spacer on for a little while. And now we get to what would normally be considered your first power bombs, the so-called Alpha Power Bombs. Another missile that's easy to forget. We're going to pick that up behind. And pick up the Alpha Power Bombs themselves. As we'll get a little bit of a high five in here as Hero's leaving, as Maniacal enters. And we'll also get these beta power bombs, which you can't get until you actually have power bombs. One of the cool things about this game is it really does give you a nice little tutorial. It really plays by the show, don't tell method, where in order to, when you first get an item, you learn how to use it because you have to use it for something. And that room is an example of that, as we see, our first instance of power bomb blocks that we really want to get rid of. Maniacal doing a nice job with that little shine spark to get rid of the side hoppers there. And he'll make his way out of this room as well. Oh, he's got stuck in a kind of a bad spot there, but made his way out of there. Yeah, so here we're using the grapple beam to get across. This will save some energy. It doesn't really lose you that much time. The thing about shine sparking is we always think about it as being the fastest thing to do, but the crash animation is often enough that there are definitely situations where you think it's faster and it really isn't. It's really not faster when you do a goop spark like Hero did there. Something that we've all done at least once when trying to do this. It does manage to get that shine spark on the second try. Maniacal picking up his missiles over the moat, with also using grapple beam to get across. These missiles that Hero is going to pick up right now, very important that we pick these up before we go to Phantoon. Why this item is available before Phantoon is killed and nothing else is, I don't know. But this room is kind of a spiky room of death part 2, if you don't get it right now, because those spikes will turn on once Phantoon is dead, and it becomes a very, very dangerous room. Whereas if we pick it up now, it's a very, very safe room. Michael's going to go ahead and pick up his missiles there too. And you're going for the speed ball to break these blocks to get into the Phantoon fight. And he'll be the first into the Phantoon fight. Has at no point turned off that spacer beam, so I suspect he's just going to go for missile dopplers. Maniacal not going to go for the speed ball, just going to use some bombs. And he'll enter his Phantoon fight as well. I do expect Maniacal to go for X Factors. And Hero getting a nice fast pattern on the second round. Looks like he missed some of those Dopplers though. This might be a chance for Maniacal to catch up if he can have a good Phantoon fight. Hero doing pretty well though. Okay, here's where we're going to see the X Factor. There he goes. Hits with all 4 particles. That'll do a total of 1,200 damage, 300 per particle. And Maniacal does gain a little bit of time with a very nice, clean Phantoon fight. Did get a little bit unlucky on the second round where he did end up with the invisible phase, but thankfully he does get the fast invisible phase. Just like the regular phases, Phantoon has a fast, mid, and a slow pattern. But if you don't actually hit him when he shows up, he'll go into the so-called invisible phase where you don't see him and you just see the flames. And that also has a fast, mid, and slow pattern. And fortunately for Maniacal, he did get the fast invisible. And now we're going to get our next super packs. And we'll also have to pick up a super pack on the left. The ones on the right we don't usually pick up, but the ones on the left we will always pick up in an 80% run. Okay, the next room, this is really the last dangerous part of the run, the so-called spiky room of death. These spikes do a lot of damage. Hero's health is a little bit better than Maniacal's. The nice thing is, if you get through this, you just have to get the E-tank right afterwards and you're fine. Hero having a little bit of trouble getting through, but he has plenty of health, so he gets through okay. So it looks like Maniacal's going to get a little bit of time here. Has a much cleaner spiky room of death. And this next room here that Hero is about to go in and Maniacal to follow is one of the reasons why the early grapple is an easier method than the early ice, because to get to this energy tank, if you don't have grapple beam, you have to either do a very precise jump without your high jump boots. I mean, I think it's doable with high jump boots, but it's much easier without. And by easier, I mean it's easier, but not easy. Or do a bomb jump to get over there. This way, both runners have grapple beam, and they can just pick it up that way. And Hero gonna make his way back into Spiky Room of Death just barely, just a door transition literally ahead of Maniacal right now, as we continue to have this very, very close race. Like I said, PB's 19 seconds apart between these two. I do fully expect we're going to see a very close race as we continue on here. And now it looks like almost side by side here as they head up to the wreck ship attic. Looks like Maniacal maybe is taking a little bit of a lead now. So a little bit of cleaner execution through the wreck ship section. But this attic room is a particularly annoying room to get through. Not quite as annoying as the next room that we're going to do. They're both going to go ahead and shoot that door again because we don't want to have to kill everything the second time through. As we head into the worker robot room, or the room that I like to call the most annoying room of the game, as we have to knock these robots back into the spikes, all just to get one missile pack. And they do get knocked back a little bit faster with missiles, and in 100% we have so many missiles, it doesn't really hurt to use them instead of using your beam. And Maniacal, about half of this room ahead, going back through the attic. Again, we've already opened the door, so we don't care if we kill everything. And next we head to get the sky missiles. Another item that's a bit of a pain to get. Oh, Maniacal misses the jump the first time. He's going to have to go back and try again. Hero looks like he's got him. And that's going to give Hero a little bit of just maybe a half a fanfare of a lead here. As the lead changes again, as expected. These two runners so close. We're going to pick up these missiles here in the maze. We're going to make sure we don't fall through here, because that would be disastrous. I'm going to go head over to pick up our gravity suit. And with high jump boots, typically you're going to take 3 hits by the spikes here. Both runners look like they're going to lay a power bomb here. That'll save a little bit on the lag and make the next room a little bit easier. And now we get to just take a little bit of a break as the bowling statue takes us down. So 32 minutes in, and we're both in bowling at the same time. And there's a missile here to pick up. And that all-important reserve tank. That reserve tank that is the reason why we can't do wreck ship first in a 100% run. Because, like I said, we don't have a good way of getting this item without speed booster. So our only choice is to go ahead and just shine spark up. And again, about maybe a half, maybe a third of a fanfare behind is Maniacal. With Hero just a little bit of a lead here. Both runners putting on a very nice show for us, and we're going to pick up our gravity suit. Pick up some shiny new threads. And welcoming in those of you from SpeedGaming 2. Welcome to the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. My name is Tracy M. Our runners today are Hero 82 and Maniacal. This should be a very even match of the 2-1 bracket in the Swiss tournament. our PBs here, Maniacal with a 1:24:33, Hero with a 1:24:14, only 19 seconds separating these two. And we've seen several lead changes already, and I expect we'll see a few more before this is all said and done. Okay, so Hero's energy looking a little bit better than Maniacal's, but they both should be in really good shape here. Actually, I would honestly, maybe Maniacal might be a little bit low. He might have to pop his reserve in just a second. We're gonna get these criteria power bombs. Hero doing a nice Shine Spark strat to get through this room. Maniacal just gonna use missiles. Now they're gonna go ahead and set up a wraparound shot. Basically, the way the game works is there are copies of all the rooms, and if you take this shot that Hero is going for in exactly the precise location while running down, you will open the door in one of those copies, which will then open the door in the actual room. Maniacal's setup is a little more precise because he doesn't have that speedrun, but looks like he got it first try. He's also going to have to pop that reserve tank in order to do this Shine Spark. Oh, and he misses, so he's going to have to go back and do a short charge here. Okay, and he gets it. Okay, and there we go. And this is, I like to call this is my favorite Shine Spark of the game. Just a really cool strat that gets you through this gauntlet area with no real issues. And go ahead and pick up that E-tank to refill. That's going to give Hero an extra bit of a lead here. Okay, another important point here, as Hero is able to drop down these crumble blocks all at the same time. Very tricky area. If you miss that jump down, you will have to either loop around right away or come back at the end of the run and pick up the other missile pack. So you don't want to. You want to be sure that you drop. See, Maniacal setting up right in that middle one and shoots that block. And he picks up his missiles as well. Interesting. With this many missiles, that's probably why Hero just decides to go ahead and missile those space pirates. Since he doesn't care about the drops, it actually is just as fast. Maniacal also going to missile them. Looks like Maniacal went ahead and supered the door to Torian. I don't know if Hero did that. Alright, and now we're going to go ahead and do our Brinstar cleanup and get all the items we couldn't get before because we didn't have power bombs, or in one case, speed booster. And pick up this energy tank that was, as Kip put it before, the bane of everybody's first Super Metroid playthrough, or even the original Metroid, since that room is exactly the same as in an original Metroid room. Going to want to jump over these crumble blocks, grab the energy tank, grab the super missiles. And Hero getting through the B-toms, and then he's going to go ahead and wall jump his way up to this next power bomb pack. Also going to go ahead and grab that power bomb pack. Hero getting the nice mock ball out so he doesn't have to fall down. And reclimb the wall. Maniacal also getting that mock ball. That is a very, very tricky mock ball. And Hero not wanting to visit the Decora, so he manages to jump over those blocks. And now we're going to get all those items in Big Pink that we didn't get before. Maniacal getting a nice little speed ball out of that while jumping over the Decora. It's like he's going to Shine Spark up to the... Nope, doesn't quite keep the charge long enough. Hero looked like he was maybe going for the Mission Impossible strat. Didn't quite get it. The idea is to grab the power bomb and jump back through the crumble block before it reforms. Doesn't save a ton of time, but is very, very swag if you can get it. And now we're going to go ahead and get those Spore Spawn missiles by doing that nice little shot that Hero did. Basically, you know you got the shot when you see the whole screen shake that way. It's like Maniacal is going to opt to go ahead and get the Wavegate E-Tank first. Does choose to use the Wave Beam for it. Maniacal has been known in the past of doing the Super Missile strat on that, even when he has Wave Beam, but has decided that it is a little bit quicker to do it that way. Now the runners are going to switch places as Maniacal wakes his way out of the Wavegate room. Hero makes his way in. Hero's going to pick up this E-Tank. Maniacal will go get the Spore Spawn supers. Maniacal getting the shot off as you see the world shake again. Maniacal picking up his super missiles. Now we're going to go ahead and grab those charge missiles that we skipped earlier. Saving just a little bit of time, maybe not even that many frames really, but just enough to make a difference. We lay that power bomb and pick up the missiles at the same time. And then we're going to head out to get one more item down at Waterway. This item is an interesting part about this item here is that the Moon Dance strat to get an very early power bomb pack that you might have seen in particular Shiny Zenny used to do RBO in his most optimized runs. Could be used to get most of the items in this big pink area and in Brinstar to get most of it early, but this one E-Tank is the reason why that is not going to actually make your run faster, because you got to come back and get this one anyway with the speed booster. And Hero going to lay that power bomb to open that power bomb door, so that when he comes back here to the cleanup at the end, he doesn't have to worry about it. And I'm going to pick up the Green Hills missiles. Okay, and now we're going to head back down Red Tower. Maniacal won't be far behind, and we're going to head into the Meridia portion of the run. Meridia portion probably being the most annoying part to route in Hundo. A whole lot of items and not a very linear path to get them in. First, we're going to go ahead and break the tube. And Hero's going to be able to use that momentum to get a nice jump up. And this missile here, one of the hardest missiles in the game to get. So there's a few choices. You can do a short charge at the bottom. You can do a less tight short charge that Hero just did. The game intends you to actually open up this red door on the right and run through it to get your Shine Spark. But that's probably the hardest version of this. Both doing a nice first try Shine Spark to get it though. Next will be the Mama Turtle items. This will be an E-Tank and a missile. This missile here is probably one of the harder items to find when you're playing this game casually. Hero manages to grab the E-Tank a little bit off. Gonna be let's see if he manages to stay on the platform. No, oh, he's gonna grab it with the grapple beam. Nice save there. Now he's gonna go ahead and get this missile here. One of the hardest missiles to find playing casually. Yeah, I really like that grapple strat that he used. Maniacal, unfortunately, missing the missile the first time, but just has to wall jump to get it. And here we're doing a nice Shine Spark out of the Red Pirates area. I'm going to head over and grab the Crab Supers. Another fun part about this game is like this super missile over here. The game kind of teases you with it as you go up this main street area the first time you play it, and then you see this crab that we saw on Maniacal screen. You see it disappear into the wall, basically telling you that hey, there's a hole there. You should go through it. Of course, we're going to shine spark through this area and head up to the beach and watering hole areas. And we're going to have to pick up a missile here. And then in the watering hole on the left, we're going to pick up a missile and a super missile. Alright, picking up that missile and gonna grab that super missile. And Maniacal starting to grab his ammo over here as Hero's leaving. Just get another little high five. Alright. And now Hero's going to make his way over to the aqueduct area. There are 2 items here. Most runners will pick this up later. They'll have like three shots in this area to pick those up if they want to get them. Looks like Hero's going to wait till at least the second shot. Usually, most runners won't pick it up the first time. And I didn't catch when Hero did it, but he did at some point turn off his spazer beam, so he's going to be doing X factors here on Batwoon. Gonna do a nice job with the decalled strat. Again, those every particle that hits is 300 damage, which is the same as a super missile. So if you hit all 4 particles, that's the same as firing 4 supers. Then you just have to follow up with 6 more supers. Hero getting a very nice 1 round. Maniacal gonna have to do 1 extra shot. Hero going for and getting what looks like it'll be a halfie. You'll notice that the runners ran by this E-tank. They're going to be in this room 2 more times, and they can choose whether to pick it up at one of those times. As long as they pick it up during one of them. It's definitely slowest to pick it up now. I don't think it makes a huge difference whether you get it the second time through or the third time, though. Hero opting to get the precious missiles before the Dragon fight. Maybe there was Space Jump, it's a little bit faster to get after, but it's another one of those item locations it's very easy to forget if you don't. And once again, we have simultaneous boss fights. Hero being half a Dragon intro ahead. And what's kind of cool about Hundo is you get a few different choices here. Like, you see Hero starting off with the X Factor, probably into a speed booster. I didn't quite get the Shine Spark. But the runners can also choose to do a grapple kill if they want to, because they do have the grapple beam here. And Maniacal doing a better job getting that first Shine Spark in. And is going to switch over to ammo for the scoop phase. Doing a very nice job of getting a whole lot of ammo into this kill. Oh, and very nice. That was a very nice Dragon from Maniacal. And is taking the lead. Not much of one, but it is indeed a lead. And once again, we see a lead change between these 2 runners that are just so close together. And we pick up my favorite item, the Space Jump. And Maniacal does still have to pick up the precious missiles. Hero's already picked them up, so I'd forgotten about that. So Hero's still with a bit of a lead since he had already picked up these missiles, but it's definitely much closer. With Maniacal having a much cleaner Dragon fight. Both runners doing a nice job using that space jump to get through Coliseum. As soon as you hit one of those ledges, you're going to lose your momentum. Here we're going to go ahead and pick up this energy tank on the second run through. Maniacal also going to do that. And now we're going to get into Coliseum for the second time, and we'll see if the runners decide to get these items now. Looks like Hero is going to go for it. I'm going to go for a short charge in this middle area. Having a little trouble getting it, but he does. Maniacal also going for it and having trouble getting this short charge. He also gets it. So again, Hero may be a little bit more than item fanfare ahead. And now we're going to route the rest of Meridia. We're going to do the right sand pit first. It is the easier one to do without Spring Ball, so we do it first. Also, more optimally, you can get to back to Norfair more easily from the left. And we pick up a missile pack here and on the left, and a power bomb pack on the right. Alright, Maniacal going to make his way through that sand pit. Hero heading off his way towards Shack Tool. This is the other part, the spot where we're going to use that grapple beam instead of doing an ice clip. And now we throw a power bomb in order to get Shack Tool dig out this sand, and we get to wait for a little bit. And here we're doing a nice job letting that snail clear out the rest of that sand so you can just go through a little bit quicker. And picks up his spring ball. Maniacal not going to be too far behind him. Like Hero was going for the Shack Tool kill, but just didn't want to commit. Which is fine, because it's not exactly the fastest thing to do if you're going to just do it with missiles like that. And now we're going to head up and pick up that plasma beam. And as Hero heads up the so-called toilet, Maniacal not far behind. And of course we go through those little enemies. That'll show us that the plasma beam, again, the game showing us, not telling us, And when we shoot them on the way back, the plasma beam is just going to go right through them. And since we don't have ice yet, it's just going to be one shot. Most of these red pirates need the plasma beam to kill them, or the screw attack, which of course we don't have right now. We can kill some of the ones on the walls with the power bomb, which is why you saw both runners lay a power bomb on their way down. And now we're going to head through the Cack-Attack Alley, because we do need to go back down that left sand pit. Now this room, a little easier to traverse with both the space jump and the spring ball. As we go down this sand pit one more time, Hero does. Maniacal won't be far behind. And we got one more sand pit to go, 2 more Meridia items to go, and we'll be done with this whole area. Reserve tank and a missile. Both do a nice job using that spring ball to not fall through those crumble blocks and lose time. And once again, we see our runners in the exact same room. And we're going to fall through the sand pit, head back down to Norfair. In this run, we basically don't revisit Meridia, except for the few tubes that we go through between the Brinstar areas. And of course, we do have to pick up these Kraid missiles. There are 3 opportunities really to pick them up. I don't know which one's fastest. I'm not sure it really matters. Hero decides to pick them up now. These missiles are locked behind power bombs. It is possible to go ahead, and you will see, occasionally you'll see runners do this. They'll go ahead and get alpha power bombs before heading down to Kraid, just so they can pick up these missiles the first time through. It doesn't really save a ton of time. It's kind of, you trade off one time loss for another one. It's also another one of those oft-miss missile packs. Unfortunately for our runners, both of them pick them up. And Hero will make his way back down towards Norfair. We have a little bit of Upper Norfair cleanup to do. A little bit that we'll do before Lower Norfair, a little bit that we'll do after. The main thing we need to do right now is pick up the ice beam. We want to do this now mainly because it does make our beam a little bit stronger. It'll be 20 charge ice wave plasma shots, whereas without the ice beam it'd be 24 shots to kill Ridley. Alright, the next item we're going to pick up is this item in the Crumble Tower. Here we're going to opt to fire a charge shot and then spaceship across to get this missile. A particularly annoying missile to pick up. You can shine spark to it. So with all those platforms being crumble blocks, it's very annoying to get. And you see Maniacal going for the Shine Spark strat for it. And here we're gonna make his way down the south route. Looks like for a second he got the nice jump through there. Ideally, you want to hold your speed momentum through that room and do a space jump, combined speed echoes, jump all the way through the room. Unfortunately, Hero does not manage to hold it. Maniacal didn't really even go for it. And now we're gonna head down to Lower Norfair. Hero with the nice chronic boost to get the entry. And then space jumps his way up. Does fall down. It'll be if Maniacal can have a cleaner entry into Lower Norfair, that will gain him a little bit of time. Maniacal going to use a pseudo screw to make sure that the fire flames don't hit him at all. And he does have a slightly cleaner entry. So you'll see Hero backing up here. He's going to do a short charge so that when he space jumps through this area, the steam won't hurt him or won't stop him. And then going to jump across here and sit through another cutscene as the acid drains. Maniacal also doing a very nice job with his short charge. Also gets a nice spring ball jump in and is going to sit and wait for the acid to drain as well. Okay, another choke point in the run here. Looks like Hero's going to go ahead and use spring ball strat, which is a little bit slower but a lot safer, and pick up these missiles. Those crumble blocks, if it is a huge time loss if you miss that missile, because you have to go all the way back around after you do this fight here with GT. And this fight, if you can get yourself in that right spot, is a very easy fight. You'll see GT firing off those little crescent moon shots. Those happen only when you have more than 30. I think the exact number might be 32. Maniacal choosing to grab the super missiles before fighting GT. Looks like Hero decided to pick them up after. So Maniacal, essentially a GT fight behind. Although it looks like Maniacal had a little bit easier time getting into that sweet spot where he's not going to get hurt. You can just fire off charge shots. So you might gain a little bit of time that way. He's also going to go for a Shine Spark to get out of here, whereas Hero decided to just use this screw attack combined with the space jump. Not sure which is actually faster. And unfortunately, Maniacal didn't quite get the speed booster charge, so he's going to have to just go ahead and do the screw attack up. Hero going for, looks like he's going to get the fast pillars. Less of an issue if you miss it, since you do have the backup of space jump plus screw attack. And Hero showing why worst room in the game really isn't when you have both space jump and screw attack. I'm going to go ahead and pick up another easy item to forget. The mouse missiles of Mickey. Has to be, again, careful. There's some crumble blocks there. You don't ever want to use a power bomb to break those blocks if you can avoid it. You want to use either screw attack or regular bombs. Otherwise, the bomb blocks ahead will not be there when you come back out. Hero doing a nice job of space jumping into the amphitheater. You want to make sure you're space jumping through the door, or else you're going to have to start at the bottom and space jump your way up. Maniacal also doing a nice job of space jumping his way through the room and manages to hold it as well. And going to get through the room as well. And we're going to make our way towards Ridley. I've often talked about this area. The whole Lower Norfair section is just my favorite area of the game. First of all, when you get down there, it's just the game's way of telling you, hey, we mean business now. This is a difficult area. There's the music, the atmosphere, and just the different ways that we do Lower Norfair depending on our items. It can be a very nice, easy, cozy Lower Norfair that the runners are having now because they have all these nice items. Or it could be a very difficult Lower Norfair with a low percent situation. And hopefully we will get to see a few low percent races this week. And you'll get to see the extreme opposite of Lower Norfair in that category as opposed to this one. Hero doing a nice charge strat to get through the plasma pirates. If you hold that shot, shoot them from behind as they're moving away from you, you can one-shot them because they'll get hit twice. Maniacal going for the same strat. And like we said before, this will be a 20-shot Ridley fight. It's always a little funny. I see Hero with well under half his energy, but it's still more than you'd have in a typical any percent run, so he's going to be fine. Maniacal with a ton of energy. So both runners in really good shape for this fight. Now, could use ammo, but really you want to do the charge shots. Spurs may do more DPS, but neither one has a super missile count high enough that they'd want to waste them and potentially chance having to refill at the ship. Okay, Hero finishing off his Ridley fight. Maniacal shouldn't be far behind and isn't, as we see one Ridley explode, the other one one Ridley finish exploding as the other one starts exploding, and we will have to pick up this energy tank here. And I feel like Maniacal has been gaining little bits of time through this segment of the run. And we'll see if he can continue to do that, or if Hero will maintain this lead. Now we're going to do the Norfair cleanup. Oh, nice little deboost through the platforms there for Hero. Maniacal doing one in a different spot. Very nice. Oh, and Maniacal with the speedball out takes a bit of a lead. And we get another lead change. And we're going to make our way through these key hunters. Very dangerous portion when you don't have screw attack and plasma beam, but this is Hundo. We have everything. Get one more E-tank in lower Norfair. Three more items in lower Norfair and then we'll be done with this area. First, we're going to get the Hodorupi missiles. Named that for a really nice strat that maybe we'll see on Hero's side. We didn't see on Maniacal's side. It's like Hero maybe was going for it. Not really. He picks up his missiles. And now the PB's in jail. One of the more annoying items to get. Another good use of Spring Ball to get over there through that little Morph Ball maze. And one more item as we leave lower Norfair. These so-called Franker Z missiles. So we make our way through the Three Musketeers, which with this loadout they're just no threat. Whereas like in any percent, one of the most dangerous parts of a run. And we are out of lower Norfair. So a little bit more Norfair cleanup to do. We're gonna have to get the Norfair reserve tank and a couple missiles over there. And another one of those missiles that's easy to skip right here, and a reserve tank. Our last reserve tank. Hero deciding to get the reserve tank first, Maniacal getting the missile first. Not sure which is faster. And one more Norfair item. These Bubble Mountain missiles, the last Norfair item. And basically, Maniacal about a fanfare ahead. And now we're going to make our way back over to Brinstar and do our last Brinstar criteria cleanup. Ironically, in this category, this is the first and only time we actually run through the Frog Speedway. And as they simultaneously head up the elevator from Norfair to Brinstar, Maniacal just a little bit ahead, maybe 4 or 5 seconds. Oh, that's gonna cost. As Hero takes the lead as Maniacal falls in the broken tube area of Meridia. So what was a 4 or 5 second lead is probably a 4 or 5 second deficit. Another lead change amongst a huge number of lead changes. These runners not disappointing the race that I was hoping for. And now we go through the X-ray room, which is one of the most difficult rooms of the game, except when you have space jump and screw attack. And then it just becomes a quick romp through the air. And we pick up that X-ray scope, the last major item. And we're going to head back into the green part of Brinstar. And if you recall, we laid a power bomb earlier in order to open the yellow door upcoming. And we're going to space jump our way up here. And just annihilate everything with that space jump screw attack combination. And you'll notice that Hero lays that power bomb before picking up the item, because again, that's going to save time. But Maniacal, unfortunately, was menued to the wrong item, and we'll have to menu back to power bombs to get this. And it's going to lose a little bit of time that way. And we're going to grab this ceiling E-Tank. Kind of a fun little E-Tank. This little area of Blue Brinstar, the retro Brinstar area, when I played this game the first time, I looked at that ceiling immediately thinking, oh, the other game had an E-Tank there. Why? I bet this one does too. And of course it did. And of course it's a tease because you can't actually get it. And now we head over to the Billy Mays area because we don't have just one missile, we have two. So, but wait, there's more. And we're just going to head out of this area. Grab the beta missiles that when you play casually, probably the missiles you pick up second. But we're going to pick these missiles like third to last in terms of missile pickups. And here we're going to go for a Shine Spark, store it on the elevator, and use it to get across the pit room. Maniacal setting up for that as well. Hero Shine Sparks his way across. Oh, and unfortunately Maniacal Goop Sparks, so he'll have to space jump across. So we'll lose a little bit more time there. And he's going to go ahead and get these missiles. Our second to last missile pack and our third to last item. We're going to go ahead and get the Criteria Supers. One of my favorite strats of this game. We're going to do a charge shot as we run across. Oh, and Hero messes it up. He doesn't quite time it right. But instead goes for a short charge. And it's a nice backup strat. Let's see if Maniacal can get this short first try. And he does. Very nicely done. And that'll catch him up. It'll catch him up a little bit. He'll gain a little bit of time on this one from Hero. And one last item to pick up. 230 missiles. In a casual run, this is probably the third missile pack you're going to pick up, and of course, in a speed run, 100% speed run, it's going to be the last missile pack you're going to pick up. And so if the runners have picked up everything, they will have 230 missiles, 50 super missiles, 50 power bombs, 14 E-tanks, 4 reserves, every major item. As far as I can tell, neither runners skipped a single item. They could stop the ship to verify that to themselves, but in this race, you're not doing that. It's way, way, way too close to even consider that. As we make our way to Torian. Hero using missiles to kill the space pirates, even though he has plasma beam. Maniacal looks like he's also doing the same. Hero entering at 1:16:50. Maniacal entering at 1:16:56, 57, so about 6 or 7 seconds separating the two runners. So this is going to come down to execution in Metroid rooms. It's going to come down to, can one of them get a baby skip, or one or both of them get a baby skip? Can one or both of them how well they do on a stand-up glitch? So a lot of little things that can still happen in a race this close. Maniacal impatiently bouncing up and down with that spring ball. Maniacal can go ahead and turn off that Various Suit and that screw attack, setting himself up for the stand-up glitch with that Various Suit turned off, and for Zeb skip with that screw attack turned off. I'm sure Hero will do the same thing. Making his way through Metroid Room 1. Here, ammo not a huge issue. You want to have supers left as much as you can, but you're not gonna soft lock. You have plenty of regular missiles. So far, Hero's Metro Room is a little bit cleaner. You're going to go ahead and group the last room together and head over towards Baby Skip. Hero patiently waiting to go for his baby skip. Maniacal not far behind. Hero taking the extra time to make sure he does get it, and he does. It's important that Maniacal also get this. And he also does. Hero going in for his... Oh, this is interesting. Hero says, you know... Or is he going to go for the spring ball strat? Ah, he's going for the spring ball strat. Very nice. That's something I've seen Zoe start doing in his GT Classic runs, because you have the same item set, of course, from that in that run. Maniacal can just do a standard Zeb skip. Hero finishing up Mother Brain 1. Hero gonna damage himself down already. Gonna want to be at 7 E-tanks when he gets to the cutscene here. Maniacal doesn't damage himself down right away. He is gonna wait and do it later, it looks like. "20 shots on Mother Brain 2. We'll finish her off. And as Hero gets his first catch-up, Maniacal starts his Mother Brain 2. The catch-up will start right when Mother Brain is just over 75% done. So you'll have 4 or 5 shots left to go, depending on what weapons you used overall. Okay, looks like Hero's set up well for the stand-up glitch. Maniacal damaging himself down so he can get to the stand-up glitch range. You have to be in the air at the right time, so this Rainbow Beam will take them down to just over an E-tank of energy. Maniacal will be able to get up and damage himself down below 1 E-tank, and will want to be jumping when the baby reappears. One more spot where you're going to be in the air as the baby detaches from Mother Brain. See Hero about to get to that point now. And starts just firing shots at Mother Brain. Once she turns gray, she'll take the damage from the plasma shots. It would take 40 shots with this beam combination. The Hyper Beam would be 36, because 900 versus 100 damage. Ideally, you want to do 39 shots, so you'll just one-shot Mother Brain 3 at the end. You're having had so far a very clean stand-up glitch. One more choke point does not fire a shot when the beam transitions to Hyper Beam, and so gets through it just fine, and now just has the escape to go. But this is close enough that any little mistake in the escape, and Maniacal still has a shot at catching up. As Maniacal finishes up his stand-up glitch. And does a very nice... It was one shot from Maniacal to finish up Mother Brain 3, so a beautiful stand-up glitch by Maniacal. Alright, Hero halfway through the escape, gets the Shine Spark, into the Leodoc's room, named for a runner who once had a little bit of trouble in this room. So far, Hero not having any trouble in this room. Hero getting the Shine Spark, the all-important Shine Spark up. Maniacal just a couple of rooms behind. And Hero is going to go ahead and he is going to enter the ship first, finishing up with an official SRL time of 1:24.12. GG's to Hero, and Maniacal going to follow him up. He'll finish up with an official SRL time of 1:24:30. I believe that is a PB for Maniacal. All right. Okay, gonna see if we can get these guys in for interviews. What a wonderful, wonderful race. And they are both gonna join us. Maniacal says he needs a minute. Hero also says he's gonna come in. All right, we're just gonna wait for them to join us. As SpeedGaming 5 joins us just in time for the end of this race, but we should have a nice little interview for this. So welcome those of you from SpeedGaming 5. We're just finishing up here with the multi-category race from a multi-category tournament race for Super Metroid. And joining us is our winner, Hero. GG's, that was such a race.
Oh
That was such a good race.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. I was I had the stream up, but I had it muted, and so I would just look over every once in a while, and I was like,
yeah, I can't listen while I play either. So.
Well, I had the audio on for like the first 5 minutes, and I was like, well, this doesn't even matter that much because it's up to bombs. It's anybody's we're not. This isn't sports ball and RTA. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, for sure.
And then so I turned the audio off, and I like looked over every once in a while, and I was like, okay, Maniacal's like playing. He's playing super well. Like this is a good race. And then we're at Wreck Ship at the same time, and I was actually playing really well in my early game up to Wreck Ship, and then I beat Fantoon a little bit, but we killed Fantoon at the exact same time.
Yeah, you got into Fantoon first. He had a slightly cleaner Fantoon kill.
Yeah, I just literally 2 days ago abandoned X Factors for 100% and decided to do 3-round gobblers. Just because it works out really good with like de-equipping Spazer later and Varia at the same time. So.
And GG's to Maniacal, PB, right?
Yeah, the old lose 20 seconds on Kraid PB. Shrug.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate. You both had your share of errors in the run, so it didn't.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, it didn't even out because that would give you a tie because you guys are really close in times in general. But a really fun run to watch from both of you. Kira, was that a PB for you?
No, I secretly got a PB last night.
I figured.
I was wondering about that because I'm like, well, it is compared to what he reported in the spreadsheet, but I wasn't sure if it.
Well, I didn't want to like freak Maniacal out.
No, I have a 120 on the table if I just put a damn run together, but I just haven't been running hundo, so.
Yeah,
them's the breaks.
It's a really intimidating category to grind because it's fun. There's a ton of cool strats, but it is super. It's really long, and it is really depressing to lose so much time in all your runs.
Yeah, I mean it's not a hard run in the sense of dying, but it is a hard run in the sense of just executing so many different things for such a long time.
I'm glad that I got this peasant PV though, because it means that I can correct, like my splits will have correct item sequencing now, which is a big help. Because like I was running against splits where I like went and got early Aqueduct because my supers were really bad in Debauch Wound, and like I got charge missiles early because shrug, why not?
Because any percent, right?
No, just because who doesn't want more missiles now? I want to shoot the heck out of these worker robots with them. May as well have 5 more, right?
Dude, I want to shoot the worker robots every chance I get.
I call that the most annoying room for a reason.
Yeah, my worker robots was fine relative to what I want to run. I wasn't too sad about it, honestly. But yeah, this was a nice race. GG to Hero. You know, I PB'd even if it was by like slim margins with. So Mother Brain, first off, what an asshole. Didn't catch up until 20.
Wow.
She catch up at 20, and I was just like, "What is this crap?"
I didn't catch that. Oh my!
That's so you thought you might get away with the 0 catch up, Mother Brain?
I've never had it. She was dead before she catch upped.
Oh, so she was saving it just for you.
I put 23 shots into her dome, and then had the opportunity to do like 43 on stand up, but I just stopped at 41.
Yeah, you did get the one shot final kill, so that was neat.
I stopped at 6 after the transition after Baby Explode instead of doing the 7th just for safety because I already had 41, and I wasn't sure if the first one was maybe a little early. I did botch 1 shot in the middle, but I had a clean stand up. I don't know. Definitely. Like, I messed up the jump into the Leodox room, and so I had a slow Leodox room. I gave up a bunch of time on the escape that way. Mm-hmm. And my Metroid rooms were terrible, so I definitely slightly behind into Torian didn't deserve to make up time with that performance.
Dude, that was... Other than maybe, like, some of my any percent, like, PBs, this was the most nervous I've ever been doing Baby Skip.
Good.
Because I was 100% sure. I had to assume you were going to get it. And if I didn't get it, I was going to go for Crystal Flash in Mother Brain's room.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean that was the line I had as well. I was pretty confident in the skip. I did have a little bit of a rocky couple jumps in there. Mostly because like my item select kept firing really weirdly on me. I think it was just, race nerves. I had the stream up, and so I was watching the race. It was a good race. I really enjoyed watching it. May have to watch it back and really catch a few things. There were some spots where I really threw away a bunch of time on very easy strats. Just even like choose not to jump through door for unknown reason. I was super stoked that we both got the spring ball power bomb to GT.
Yeah,
that was sweet.
That was pretty cool.
I also liked, Tracy, how you were talking about how hard Mission Impossible was and Hero wasn't attempting it, and then you ignored that I did it, and you were just like, he's doing these items in a weird order.
I didn't say weird. I said you were doing it in a different order, and I did catch that you went for it.
I saw that in chat. I was like, really? Nobody's gonna? Because I saw that you got it. I was literally
nobody said anything. I was watching chat. I was like, these assholes.
Oh my god! Okay, now you're making me feel bad because I thought you missed it.
No,
you didn't.
I'm just
I feel bad now
because I know a bunch of folks. I don't mean nothing by it.
He's only calling the people that he knows assholes.
Because I know you can do it. I've seen you do Mission Impossible many times, so I can't believe I missed that you did it this time. That's my bad.
Oh no, I just thought it was funny. I got a good laugh out of it. I bonked the door on Blockbuster, Kip. I had the speedball. I just was a little short on the shot. So sorry, dude.
That's a
Nothing
tough
else
one, too.
matters. Yeah. I'm just not even gonna highlight this PB. Just like heck it, didn't get Blockbuster, didn't get Reverse Slinky.
Well, it'll always be in the Speed Gaming archive, so we can't get rid of it.
Shucks.
You should just highlight this Speed Gaming VOD and submit this to SRC as your PB.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. So the thing is, I guess I trust Speed Gaming 6 to keep their VODs at least as well as I keep my own. So I wouldn't want it to disappear. I'll highlight the race VOD, sure. That'll be fun.
I mean, even if it goes away, it's not like we're holding anyone to a video standard for PBs.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, this was a sweet one. I'm glad that Hero let us race Hundo. I think it led to a more fun race, probably for viewers too, than a GT race would have.
I hear low ice was a big no for you, Maniacal.
Yeah, Hero's actually good at that category, and I'm actually garbage at it, and that was not a thing that I wanted to sign myself up for.
That's fair.
Yeah, and
I have completed low ice, but that's the participant trophy right there.
And Maniacal and I are both comparable at GT, but GT is such a coin flip. Like,
sure,
if one of us misses green gate, it's over. Like, because we're both right around probably mid 37, high 37 runners. But like,
yeah, I think I only have like a mid 38 because like.
Yeah, but you
so I PB'd like on back-to-back runs the other week in GT, and the first PB, oh man, the crap Kip was giving me in chat for that PB was unreal, and it deserved.
I think I was there watching that.
It was a fun time. It was like 4 of the worst boss fights you've ever seen in a run, and a PB anyway.
Well, just clean up those boss fights and you have an easy PB, I guess.
I guess I can say the same of Hundo now, too, after today's Kraden Fantoon excursions.
We covered all of the bosses very poorly, Maniacal, because my Ridley was probably a 70-second Ridley.
I thought your Dragon Maniacal was a pretty good one, though.
Yeah, I did get what I was looking for on Dragon. It was a little slow, a little awkward. But for the most part, it was what I was trying to do with Dragon. And then Ridley, I fired 6 shots that must have been like 1 frame early on Ridley.
Ouch. Yeah.
It was hilarious. Like they just clunked right into him and he just didn't care. So I had a nice like 26 shot Ridley. Oh. But I got Plower House both ways. Got the double Kago off of no spike hit. Got a lot of nice stuff that I go for in Lower Norfolk. I was really trying to push Hero through there. I felt like that was my chance to make up time in the race.
You had some nice movement in Lower Norfolk, to be honest. So that was about you. You took the lead briefly when you got your speedball out of the Wasteland. And then
which was slow, but.
And unfortunately, falling in the Meridia tube gave it back. So.
Yeah. That was a nice one happens. Where I didn't jump through the door transition. I was like, okay, I'm gonna buffer the jump, and then like I must have pressed the jump like a couple frames early, and didn't get the jump that I wanted. And then I was just like, oh god, which direction do I go? And I don't have a good backup for like if I fall in this room, so I missed all the ledges and ended up like way down at the bottom in the pit of sadness.
Oh yeah, that's where you go every time.
Yeah, I was very much in the pit of sadness late in this run.
I like that term. I'm going to use that.
I couldn't menu to power bombs for like all of Brain cleanup. It was just like a real hecking of menuing, but it was fun. I had a good time with it. I'm glad I was able to get to Torian minus at G4. I was like -8 at G4.
Yeah, I was plus 110 above my PB, but I actually pulled it back to plus 33 by Mother Brain.
Nice.
Oh boy, plus 33.
Very nice. Yeah, your
Yeah.
match rooms are pretty clean. So yeah.
I had a. Well, see, my PB last night. I missed baby skip in my PB.
Oh, there you go.
That's
So
yeah,
that's the trick
that's a
to
good
getting
one.
the next PB is just miss baby skip and then just get
Yeah,
it the next time.
or Crade quick kill. That's a nice
Yep.
one to miss.
Yeah, that one that'll be a fun one to run against. Let's see, what's my Varia time? Oh boy, 11:52 Varia.
Oh, that's a fun one to run against.
That's gonna be great to run against. My early game was hot garbage. I had a 5-minute bombs. 11:52 Varia. Man,
Alright.
it was real dicey. And then my 4-round Fantoon somehow I was minus 30 out of. So,
So, Hero, that puts you at 3-1. So real good position to move on into brackets. Maniacal at 2-2. You still have a real good shot because get 4-2 and you get into that play-in game. What are your thoughts upcoming? Next week we have RBO All Boston GT Classic. So what are all your thoughts about moving on?
I'll let you
take this one. Okay, I'll go first.
Someone go first.
So I feel very differently about being in the 2-2 bracket than I would about being in the 3-1 bracket, which is obviously where I was hoping to be out of this week. But I think that, I wouldn't mind running any of those categories. I would have to put some work into any percent all bosses, probably. But I'll have to see what the matchups look like. But I feel like in this field, I'm like a 3-3 runner with an outside shot at a 4-2. Okay. And I feel like this race was probably my outside shot at that 4-2. And so this probably puts me out of it just because the field is so strong in this tournament. This is one of my good weeks, just in terms of what the categories broke down to be and getting to run a category I would want to run. And the matchup against Hero is not a positive one for me across a lot of the categories I do like. So it broke pretty badly for me as far as the tournament fell. Mm-hmm. But, it's just kind of how it goes.
Hero?
Yeah, I feel kind of similarly to Maniacal in terms of how the matchup broke down, because I feel that Maniacal is really a really strong player. I feel really, really fortunate to be able to take this from him in 100% because it's kind of his bread and butter since he's been running it for. I mean, I learned a lot of what I do in 100% from him, from watching him for the past like 3 years in speedrunning. But I guess going into next week in the 3-1 bracket, there's probably going to be a decent number of runners who might be willing to run maybe RBO. I am thinking that a lot of the 3-1 runners might not want to run GT Classic because of the high variability.
Sure.
There's also a possibility that they also might not want to run any percent all bosses because they might be sick of any percent. So, I have no idea. But I'm kind of, the reason I really was excited to run 100% was because I ran any percent every week so far. Some version of any percent. I ran 2 any percent runs and any percent all bosses, and I really wanted something different. Low ice didn't shake out, but this was fun. I had a blast doing it, and it was really, I've never actually had my heart racing in 100% before. This was the first time that happened. So
yeah, I mean, so often 100%, it's so hard. You just don't get to see a race with those kind of lead changes that you all had in 100% race every day. Because a lot of times you'll have one, because as the run goes on, the stronger runner will just gain more and more time, and that's not what happened here. You two are so evenly matched that we had all those lead changes, and it was a really fun watch.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it back. I'm glad we were able to get it restreamed. I'm glad you were willing to step up and give a couple hours of your time to commentate it, Tracy. So thank you for commentating. Really appreciate
you're very
it.
welcome.
Yeah, I'm super psyched. I love Tracy commentary.
Aww.
And I think it'll be a really good one to watch back. And thanks for having us.
All right, thank you both. If there's anything you want to add, go ahead and do so now. I will add that you should follow these guys. So go ahead. I'll go ahead and put their Twitches in chat. Absolutely great runners. Fun to watch. So.
No, I'll just add GG Hero. First off, you never shared with us what the new secret PB is, so hit me with it.
Gosh, let me reset my splits. Hold on.
You get a 122?
No, my PB is a 123.41.
Nice, GG, dude. Grats.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
GG. I'm coming for that bop though to get you back.
You're right there. You're not very far behind me. And Black Elite, or I guess is he Black? He's not Black Elite.
He's
John
French
anymore.
Lightning John now.
French Lightning John is 10 seconds ahead of me, so we're all grouped there together.
Nice.
So
yeah, GG, and that'll do it for me. So thanks for having me in the chat.
Thank you, Maniacal.
Yeah, GG Maniacal, and that was a great race, and I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
All right, so we'll close this out. There's no more races tonight, but for some of you, it's already the next day. But we do have a whole slew of races tomorrow. Starting at 2 o'clock, we have Lake Demon versus Diddy Kong. At 6 o'clock, we have Galamaz versus White Mage Becky. We have 2 races at 7 o'clock, Polar Bear Bunny versus Magoo and Crocomeyer versus Sinan. At 8 o'clock, we also have 2 races, Woody versus Richmond 3mm and Glacio Souza versus 64-bit Link. And at 10 o'clock, we have a nice 3-0 matchup, Toasty versus A Real Cutie. SpeedGaming channel. Some of them are, well, just check the schedule. Didn't go through all of them already, so I'm not going to go back and do them now. But a whole lot of races. Looks like a lot of SpeedGaming 2 and a lot of SpeedGaming 6. So make sure you watch out for those and tune into all those matches tomorrow, or as many as you can, because multi-Twitch can get a workout if you want to catch all of them. But that will do it for us. This is the end of the day. Again, I want to thank our runners here, A2 and Maniacal 42. Go ahead and follow them. I want to thank SpeedGaming. I want to thank all the other organizers. I got Kip. You're an organizer too, so you're another organizer extraordinary. I heard your statements earlier in the last match, and shout outs to Kip for and Maniacal, and also French Lightning John, who all stepped up and did some commentary on other matches today to make sure that we had commentary. And definite shout outs to everyone that does all the work behind the scenes. A whole lot of fun doing this, and hope this will continue. But that'll be it. So since this is the end of the day, or the beginning of the day, depending on where you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you may be.